I guess I felt normal after 6 weeks back on Earth.
Undocking confirmed at 9:56 p.m. Central Time.
When you hit the atmosphere, I noticed that this plasma, this orangish glowing gas around the outside of the vehicle was forming. I looked out my window, and initially it was a pale orange, and then it became a dark red. Then I actually started to see molten slag from the heat shield passing by the window. And then I remember feeling the pull of the G-forces on my body. Because we're hitting the atmosphere and decelerating at such a tremendous rate, there was 4 Gs of force that were pushing me into my chair. It's like 4 people were sitting on top of me, and it got difficult to breathe. I'd have to really think and work at getting the air into my lungs. And then the parachute is deployed. And wow, was that dynamic, was that crazy. It felt like the vehicle was swinging back and forth like a pendulum underneath the chute.
And you can see the parachute coming down and the plume coming up.
You hit the ground with a thump. We weren't injured, but it's like a small car crash.
That's Bob Thirsk from the Canadian Space Agency, the flight engineer, wrapping up his 6 months in space.
After we landed, I had some pride, and I wanted to be able to get myself out of my Soyuz seat myself and egress the vehicle, but I just didn't have the strength. I felt like a wet dish rag, unable to do very much. In addition to that, my blood pressure to my brain was rather low. My heart just wasn't contracting enough to provide blood flow up to the brain, so I felt a little bit woozy. And then I also felt very unbalanced as well. I guess I felt normal after 6 weeks back on Earth.
The first effects of gravity after 188 days of weightlessness. That's Bob Thirsk from the Canadian Space Agency, the flight engineer, wrapping up his 6 months in space.
Our next guest is one of the few people in Canada who can tell us about that readjustment phase. That's Robert Thirsk back in 2009, coming home from his time on the ISS. He spent 187 days in space flight and 204 days in total in space, spread across the 2 missions. And Robert Thirsk is in our Montreal studio this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Arthi.
So first, I wanted to just point out that you were smiling as you were listening to David Saint-Jacques speak about the fact that gravity is not his friend. What came to your mind that brought that big smile to your face?
Well, David's experiences are very similar to mine experiences as well. On that first day, it's difficult coming back. Every organ system in the body has to readjust to this 1G world that we take for granted, including his cardiovascular system, which may not be pumping blood quite as strongly post-flight as it did pre-flight to his brain. So he's feeling a little bit lightheaded right now. And then he talks about the stability and orientation problems as well. The vestibular apparatus, which is our balance mechanism in our inner ear, was not my friend on landing day as well. And I had difficulty maintaining an upright position, and I needed someone to hold me at the side so that I didn't fall over.